Welcome everyone to History Gone Wilder, part of Half History Will Travel. I am your host, the Wilder Historian, and I'm going to take you on a little road trip with me through southern Missouri. And my first stop here is the Ozark National Scenic Riverway. Behind me is Alley Spring. This spring was able to turn a mill and a little hamlet emerged around it. Just like New River Gorge National Park and Preserve preserves Appalachian culture in West Virginia, this national park preserves Ozark culture in Missouri. This national park not only preserves all the wonderful waterways throughout Missouri, but it also preserves historic buildings like the mill behind me here and the schoolhouse right across the creek. Tour stop number 2 is Laura Ingalls Wilder's home. This is where her and Almanzo spent the last few years of their lives. I've got my ticket to go inside the house and to go through the museum. Stay tuned for the pictures and the videos of inside. I know this deviates quite a bit from what I usually cover on the channel, but the Little House on the Prairie books made a big impact, socially and culturally, on the United States. It became a little TV series, and people still read the books today. It is a major part of Americana. Here I am at tour stop number 3. I'm at Wilson's Creek National Battlefield. Behind me is the home of John Ray. This home was used as a hospital during the battle. When Nathaniel Lyon, the first Union general to be killed during the American Civil War, was killed here at Wilson's Creek, his body was brought here to be examined. I'm here at Bloody Hill, where much of the intense fighting took place during the Battle of Wilson's Creek, and I'm walking down to where Nathaniel Lyon was killed. I'm here where they think Nathaniel Lyon was killed, but more recent scholarship may indicate it happened closer to the parking lot that's on top of Bloody Hill. With over 500 dead here at Wilson's Creek, the Southerners, who were the victors, had a gargantuan task. At least 30 federal troops were thrown into the sinkhole behind me. They were later reinterred at a national cemetery. Tour stop number 4 is Fort Scott National Historic Site. This fort started out as a buffer between the Indian Territory and the United States after the Native Americans had been sent on the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma and other places out west. During Bleeding Kansas, this location was a major point of violence. And then during the American Civil War, whites, African Americans, and Native Americans came to this location to enlist and be trained. I can't tell you how much I have enjoyed walking around this historic site, whether it's the historic buildings or just being in amongst all this history. It's amazing to come see and stand where some very famous Americans once stood and lived. Tour stop number 5 is George Washington Carver National Monument, the very first national park site dedicated to an African American. George Washington Carver would be born here into slavery, but would rise up to become one of the nation's greatest agricultural scientists and humanitarians. The National Park Service preserves this location as the foundation of George Washington Carver's love of nature and his unquenchable thirst for knowledge. Tour stop number 6 is the Pea Ridge National Military Park. Let's go check out the visitor center and then let's check out the battlefield. To illustrate how devastating it was for commanders to go down in combat, about 7,000 Confederate soldiers were in the tree line behind me under Benjamin McCullough. The Union forces were basically where I'm standing. When he goes out to scout the Union position alone, he gets killed. Without a commander and without orders, the men stay put, stalling the effort in this part of the battlefield. Although it's known as the Battle of Pea Ridge, it also goes by the name the Battle of Elkhorn Tavern, named for the structure behind me. In the fields around the Elkhorn Tavern, as the Confederates were being pushed from the battlefield, Confederate General Sterling Price attempted to rally his men, but to no avail. In 1889, veterans from both armies would come back to this battlefield, but not to fight, but to come together in brotherhood and honor and remember those who fell on this battlefield, united once again.